to come on today to discuss an issue or issues that was really on my heart. Today I went to my PWOC meeting, and it was a representatives there talking about human sex trafficking, um, and how. And I'm gonna put the link below so you can see, so you can visit the page. But she was talking to us about how young girls and boys as young as the age of 8 um, are being sold um, into sex trafficking, or being used as bribes for sex. Like, that thing like really bothered me, and she was just explaining that Georgia is in the top 5 um, for human sex trafficking. And so my mind, like, I don't even think it was any dry eyes in the building. Like, it really like shook me to think that someone can participate in that, to think that that's okay, to take a child innocence, and they're trying to get like places where they can come and help these kids recover and have the tools and essentials to have a better life. But it's got me to think about um, other kids that's being molested right there in their homes, other kids that's being abused. And it's something my heart just really go out to kids, especially young girls. And I just started thinking how many of us have experienced things that might not be sex trafficking, but how many of us has experienced molestation or abuse, whether it's domestic violence or knowing a child is being abused and we don't say anything. Why are we so scared to share our testimonies when it comes to issues like this? Most of us deal with things and we sit in silence, and we never discuss it. We take it to our grave. And it's somebody out there that needs to hear your story to make it through. If you have gone through domestic violence and you know someone being abused, or even if you don't, share your story, because you will be amazed at how your story can help somebody else. If you know a child is being abused or molested, especially in the black communities, we've always heard, what goes in this house stays in this house. And it's young girls being molested by family members that are remaining silent. There are young girls being abused and taken advantage of by people in her own family, and yet we sit in silence, because in the black culture we supposed to keep our business in the house. In black culture, we are not supposed to say anything because we don't want people to know our business, so we don't want this. And there's so many women that's walking around that were touched at a young age inappropriate. There's so many women that are being abused, and there's so many young girls that have been raped, and we sit in silence. And I feel like we don't speak up enough for them. I feel like we don't take charge enough, or those who have overcome those things. I feel it's our duty, it's our responsibility to speak up. It's our responsibility to share our testimony. I read Joel Osteen did a devotional today that says that we can wear our scars, but we are not our scars. Just because you went through that, that's not who you are. You are still valuable. You are still loved. You still have light in this world. Don't think that it's the end. Don't think that that's who you are. No, I refuse to allow my scars to define who I am. No, I have those scars. Those scars is present in my life, but I'm not going to play victim. I'm not going to let that take over and drive my life. No, there's better. No, there's greater. No, there's blessings on the other side. No, there's healing on the other side. And we go through life thinking that those things that happen as childhood, that it won't affect us if we don't deal with them. If you do not deal with those things, those abuse, those neglect, whatever the issue is in your childhood, that is going to affect you in your adulthood. That is going to affect how you parent. That is going to affect everything else. For me, I have a tight grip. Like, control is my thing. I have a tight grip, like it is crazy, over my kids, because I don't want nobody to hurt my kids. Like, tight grip control over certain things because I don't want anybody to go through what I went through. And it can go for any issue, or it can go for any situation. That's just some examples of what I want to give. So I want to encourage you today by just hearing those stories and knowing that it's local people that you didn't think that would be out here trying to sell these kids into human sex trafficking. She gave us example of all kind, little as 15 years old, soliciting other girls to come in to sell their bodies and stuff like that. Y'all, we gotta speak up. We gotta help our young girls. And I'm not saying that our boys don't need help, but I can only speak for our girls because I am a female. Daughters to Destiny is going to start tackling issues and speaking up on things such as rape, such as molestation, such as all domestic violence and abuse. We got to start speaking up on these things and understand it's a touchy topic and not everybody gonna want to participate, and that's fine. But for those who have experienced it, those who have gone through it and started your healing process, or you feel that you are healed from it, share your truth because your truth can help somebody else. It breaks my heart that these kids have to lose their innocence. Like, what do you get out of taking a child innocence, because you cannot get that back? Let these kids be kids. Let these kids be kids. So many, and another thing is, and it may not sound good, but so many women that's willing to give it up for free, and you will rob an innocent child of something that's so valuable and so pure, and they have no control over it. They have nothing. Like, they are powerless in the situation. I feel like we need to do more, especially in the black community, with speaking up. If you have been hurt, or you know someone that's hurting a young girl, or if you have overcome that, speak up, because you can help another little girl that's going through the same things that you don't know that you're going through. I don't know why we form this term of what happens in our family or what happens in our house stays in our house, and nobody get help or nobody speak up that they being touched inappropriate as a young little girl. That's not okay. That's not okay. That's not okay. And then the family just overlook it, like, all right, it happened, and let's move on with life, not knowing that the scars and the wear and tear is still on that individual, because they have not learned how to properly heal. And the only way I feel that you will be able to heal is by God, or go to counseling, or hearing somebody else's testimony to know how to get over. But most of us suffer in silence. Excuse me. And our voice could be the very thing that help the next person. So y'all, that was just really on my heart. It was pressing on me so bad. And that was since 9:30, 10ish this morning. Like, to just imagine, like, not only just young girls, but I got two boys, just imagining like somebody trying to take my kids innocent. Man, that thing, like, I can't even wrap my head around it. Like, listen, how me and my husband coming after hours, y'all. I ain't listen. I'll just leave it right there. But I'm just saying, like, as parents that's actually going through these things. So um I just want to encourage you that we got to start speaking up. We can't let our scars define us, or keep us in silence, or feel afraid, or feel intimidated, or feel ashamed, especially over something that you have no control over and you have no power over. You didn't ask to be raped. You didn't ask to be molested. You didn't ask to be abused. We have to start speaking up so we can help the next generation that's coming, because if we continue to remain silent, and they see that there's nobody out there to help them, they're going to keep thinking that it's okay to go through that. They're going to keep thinking that they can just go through life and not deal with it, and toxic after toxic choices and decisions are being made because they haven't dealt with the thing that happened in their childhood. So yeah, that really was on my heart. This little eyelash is annoying, but um, I just pray that we just start speaking up more. that we reach out more. And I know for me, it's gonna start with Daughters to Destiny with our table of wisdom. If you are a survivor, if you have been healed from these situations, or if you're going through it and you're ready to tell your story, y'all send me an inbox. I want to touch on, molestation. I want to touch on domestic violence. I want to touch on, if you've been raped. Like, we need to have these conversations. Everyone, but especially I feel in the black community, our girls are valuable, and we need to reassure them. We need to let them know that they are valuable. All our little girls are valuable. All our little girls. It don't matter the race, but all our little girls. I'm just touching on the issue that I'm seeing in our community, in our back door, that we walk on being silent about, and we don't say a word. So y'all, that's all I got. I pray this video bless somebody. I pray that this video helps somebody. And be on the lookout for those dates as I plan those coming up in the future. All right, y'all. Bye.